Welcome to my channel Exploring Mathematics. I take this opportunity to thank all the subscribers and viewers as my channel has crossed 1000 subscribers. So if you like the channel, please subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell so that you will receive further videos. We are having three important seasons. One is summer, rainy season and winter season. So let us know what are the homeopathic medicines in these seasonal complaints. So herewith I am beginning with the part one, that is with the summer complaints that we face during the summer season. So we face summer season for nearly 3 to 4 months in a year. So it is very important for us to know what are the remedies that are needed in this season. Now we are in April and this is very hot. So summer season we are having from March, April, May, June and even to some extent up to July. So we are having very rising temperature and which is unbearable, and it is we are this season is very prone for a host of diseases. And summer is the warmest season in our country compared to all the seasons, and March and June being the hottest. So let us know what are the diseases which are common in this season. Heat affects the whole body, including the skin, eyes, and very important is the gastrointestinal system. The first and the foremost thing which is very common in summer season is heat stroke, which is also called as hyperthermia, and it results from the prolonged exposure to high temperatures and preceded by signs of heat exhaustions like headache, dizziness, weakness, which may result in unconsciousness, organ failure, and eventually death. The risk of hyperthermia can be reduced by outside cooling of the body with the help of water, cold air, or ice packs. The second thing which is very common in summer season is food poisoning, and it is caused by consumption of contaminated food and water. The warm and humid weather provides a fertile environment for bacterial growth, leading to food contamination. So this food poisoning spreads by bacteria, viruses, toxins, chemicals which by after entering the human body cause the onset of stomach pain, nausea, diarrhea or vomiting. The raw meat, food sold in the open by roadside vendors and contaminated water are common carriers of disease causing microbes. The next common thing that happens in summer season is dehydration. So this happens when the water intake does not compensate for the water loss. So we have water loss by perspiration, by vomiting, loose motion, that is very common in summer season, and we lose a lot of water and salts in the form of sweat without realizing. This needs to be replenished for the normal functioning of the body. So drink more water in summer season. Sunburn is another problem that is faced by the people in summer season. People who are exposed to sun for an extended period, the skin becomes red, dry, itchy, and the cracks may develop in the skin. If the skin cells burn too much, then blisters may appear in the skin and peeling may happen. Then it may become dried, dead skin at a later stage may occur. And the best way to prevent sunburn is to keep the skin moist. So moisture of the skin has to be maintained intact so that you can prevent sunburn to be happening. Skin rashes or miliary rubra, which may happen in summer season, is seen in children and adults. Happens when an individual sweats too much and the sweat accumulates in the clothes, and constant rubbing or wearing the sweat laden clothes for a prolonged period causes itching and further leads to rash. So skin reddening, dryness, irritations are the visible signs of skin rash. So chickenpox caused by varicella zoster is one of the very common diseases which we find in summer, especially school-going children who are in 7th, 8th or 9th standard. During the, especially it comes during the exam season, that is when it, especially in the month of March and April. So it starts in the form of fluid-filled red and small rashes. Fever is as high as 1 or 2 degree Fahrenheit and ultimately turns into fluid-filled blisters which crush or chip over, leaving marks on the skin. So one of the problem with the chickenpox is the marks of the blisters remain throughout life. So the symptoms that we find in chickenpox are the scabs, blisters, itchy skin, redness, high-grade fever, decreased appetite, headache, and this lasts for more than a week or two. So jaundice is another common thing that we find in summer season, and it is a waterborne disease. And hepatitis A virus is very common, and it causes caused by consumption of contaminated food and water. So that is fecal-oral route. It is foodborne or waterborne. The visible symptoms that we find in jaundice are That is the yellow discoloration of the skin, mucous membranes, and the whites of the eyes, they also become yellow. The stools are light in color, dark colored urine, and itchy skin. Typhoid is another disease caused by Salmonella typhi, and it is also transmitted by fecal-oral route, similar to the jaundice. And the symptoms include weakness, loss of appetite, fatigue, pain in abdomen, and very high fever. Summer is favorable weather condition for bacteria, virus, and other parasites to breed. So taking some preventive measures will help a lot. So avoid going out during peak sun hours and avoid direct sunlight. Prevent dehydration by increasing water or liquid intake. Use sunscreens. Don't consume roadside food or contaminated water. Increase the consumption of vegetable and fruits. Prefer light colored coat and clothes. And keep the surroundings clean. Now let me begin with one of the commonest problem that is faced by many of us during summer is headache. So the first and the foremost remedy that we think about for the problems that are faced in summer is natrum carb. So in natrum carb, we are having great debility caused by the heat of the summer, exhaustion from least effort, mental or physical, ready to drop after a walk, chronic effects of sunstroke. And in natrum carb, it is having chronic effects of sunstroke. With the return of hot weather, again the headache returns. Natrum more headache comes from the slightest mental exertion, from sun or working under gaslight. The other two remedies are clonine and lachesis. With tension in the nape or occiput before menses, head feels too large as if it would burst. So coming to clonine, it's a remedy to be thought about from headache from working under gaslight when heat falls on head and cannot bear heat about the head, heat of stove or walking in the sun. So headache here, my dear friends, is of pulsating type, as if the sensation here in clonine is as if there are pulsations all over the body. So here in clonine again, the head feels enormously large as if the skull were too small for the brain. Sunstroke and sun headache increases and decreases every day with the sun. Throbbing, pulsating headache, holds head with both hands, could not lie down, feels as if the pillow would beat. Brain feels too large, full, bursting, blood seems to be pumped upwards, throbs at every jar, every step, and at every pulse. So now coming to natrum more, great emaciation, losing flesh while living well, similar to abrotinum and iodinum. In abrotinum and iodinum also, they eat well, but still they lose the flesh. The throat and the neck of the child emaciate rapidly during summer complaint. So there is above downwards emaciation in case of natrum more, whereas in abrotinum there is below upwards emaciation. So headache in anemic girls, school-going girls from sunrise to sunset, left-sided clavus, as if bursting with red face, nausea and vomiting before, during, and after menses, as though 1,000 little hammers were knocking in the brain during fever, and this headache is ameliorated by pressure. The natrum headache begins with blindness, with zigzag dazzling light, like lightning in the eyes, ushering in throbbing headache from eye strain. The next problem that people commonly face in the summer is affecting the gastrointestinal system. So here, the common thing that is faced is diarrhea or constipation. Let me begin with the drug which is there for constipation, which we usually think is bryonia. So in bryonia, it is characterized by excessive dryness of mucous membranes of the entire body, the lips and the tongue dry, parched, cracked, stool is dry as if burnt. The complaints in bryonia start when warm weather sets in after the cold days, from cold drinks or ice in hot weather, after taking cold or getting hot in summer, from chilling when overeaten. So further, there is constipation, which is inactive. There is no inclination to pass stool. The stool is large, hard, dark, dry as if burnt, and it's also there on going to see. Diarrhea during a spell of hot weather, bilious, acrid with soreness of anus, like dirty water of undigested food, from cool drinks when overeaten, from fruit or sore throat, aggravation in morning on moving, even a hand or foot, this person gets diarrhea. In cinchona, the stool is undigested, frothy, yellow, and painless. One very peculiar thing that is there in cinchona, which helps you to select cinchona, is that diarrhea is only in the night, and it comes even after meals, during hot weather, aggravated by fruit, milk, beer, and losing the fluid brings on lot of weakness and exhaustion in cinchona, and cinchona is characterized by flatulence. Flatulence is all over the abdomen, and the stool sometimes is very difficult to pass even if it is soft. It is similar to lumina and platinum. Another remedy that we can think about is crotontiglium. It affects the mucous membranes of the intestinal tract, producing transudations of watery portions of the blood, a copious watery diarrhea, and develops an acute eczema over the whole body that is similar to Rostock's. The bowels are moved as if by spasmodic jerks, coming out like a shot as soon as patient eats, drinks, or even while eating yellow watery stool. Constant urging to stool, followed by sudden evacuation, which is shot out of the rectum, swashing sensations in intestines as from water before stool. In Alasakatana, we are having rumbling before stool. So in crotontiglium, there is constant urging to stool, followed by sudden evacuation, which is shot out of the rectum, swashing sensation in the intestine as from water before stool. So we'll have to compare here with Alosacotrina. In Alosacotrina, we are having rumbling before stool. In crotontiglium, there is a swashing sensation as if from water before stool. So the diarrhea is aggravated by every motion after drinking, while eating, or nursing during summer from fruit and sweet meats. The least food or drink aggravates diarrhea. In Cambodia, we are having pain in the stomach after food, tenderness in epigastrium, pain and distension of abdomen, and flatulence of stool. So there is rumbling and rolling decently with retained scabula. Scabula is nothing but hardened masses of the feces, which is retained, with pain in sacral region, diarrhea with sudden forcible ejection of bilious stools. There is tenesmus after passing stool with burning at anus, urosical region, sensitive to pressure, profuse water diarrhea in hot weather, particularly old people, pain in the coccyx. Coming to Naxmoschata, eating a little too much causes headache, painfulness and distress in stomach while eating or immediately after. Abdomen is very much distended after every meal. Diarrhea in summer from cold drinks, epidemic in autumn, white stools from boiled milk during dentition, during pregnancy, with sleepiness and fainting in autumn, epidemic, white fatigue. In podophyllum, we are having diarrhea, long standing, early in morning, continues to the forenoon, followed by natural stool in evening, accompanied by sensation of weakness or sinking in abdomen or headache alternates with diarrhea, headache in winter, diarrhea in summer. Painless cholera morbus, cholera infant. Further in podophyllum, we are having diarrhea of children during eating while being bathed or washed, dirty water, soaking napkin through with gagging. The stool is green, watery, faded, profuse, gushing out, chalk-like, jelly-like, tasted yellow meal like prolapse of rectum before stool. So podophyllum is the remedy we thought about prolapse of rectum. So one of the most frequently indicated remedy in respect to GIT symptom is check. So there is constipation with frequent unsuccessful desire passing but passes small quantities of fluids. Sensation as if not finished, frequent desire for stool, ineffectual urging for stool, amelioration for a time after stool, in morning after rising, but again he gets the urge to pass stool. In Oxomica, we are having bad effects of high living. There is bad effects of coffee, tobacco, alcoholic stimulants, highly spiced or seasoned food, overeating, sedentary habits, loss of sleep, aromatic or patent medicines, sitting on cold stones, especially warm weather. Alternate constipation and diarrhea in persons who have taken purgatives all their lives. The important organ which is easily exposed to sun is the skin. So we face sunburn in hot weather. The remedy that we think about in sunburn, first remedy is Cantharis with vesicular eruptions, vesicles all over the body which are sore and suppurating, erythema from exposure to sun's rays. The burning pain and intolerable urging to urinate is the red strand of Cantharis in all inflammatory conditions. Pain, This is raw, sore, burning in every part of the body, internally and externally, extremely weakness. We can think about sulfur also in case of sunburn, and the other remedy is natronol. Another common problem that we face in summer is heat rashes. So one of the common remedies is Apis mellifica with extreme sensitiveness to touch, pain, sensation as if the skin rashes are of burning, stinging, sore, suddenly migrating from one part to another, aggravation warm room and from external heat. So another remedy for the heat rashes is Syzygium jambolinum, where we are having prickly heat in upper parts of the body. This is a remedy which usually is thought about for in diabetes mellitus, and there is small red pimples which itch violently, old ulcers of the skin, a very useful remedy in diabetes mellitus. So the references are from Homeopathic Mater Medica and Repertory by William Borick and from Allen's Keynotes by H.C. Allen. So thank you very much for being with me throughout the video. If you like the channel, please subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell so that you will receive further videos. Again, I would like to thank all the subscribers and viewers for taking me beyond 1000 subscription.